Today is a slightly different Park to Prem episode. I feel like today we need a catch-up. We need to talk about our current squad, my vision for the future, a bit of a who's who. Lots has changed over the last season. With us going fully professional, there's been a higher turnover in players than usual. And well, as you might have spotted by the top left here, things are actually going rather good. We are currently in third place. We are going to play a match today for you match lovers out there. We're going to get a rematch against Dagenham and Redbridge. Last time we played them, they beat me in the Vanarama National League playoff final. I'm still sad about it. So we've got revenge to get there, a team to run down, and also, you might have spotted this, yeah, Brandon Charles, he's quite good at the whole football thing, isn't he? He is suspended, though, for today's game. Less than ideal. Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to Park to Prem. Welcome back to League 2, where right now we are financially not as well off as we were last time you were here. We had £900,000 in the bank. We now have £122,000 in the bank. It's like we're about to be bankrupted, except, well, you might have noticed a big drop off here. This isn't some unknown spend that's happened. What has happened is finally the board have agreed to improve the training facilities. It's going to be done in 2 months' time, and it's cost us £750,000. Just as a refresher, our current training facilities are 1 star. I feel like for £750,000, it better not just go up by half a star, or I will be rather upset. Now, before we talk about the squad as a whole, worth catching you up, we've played 13 matches since you were last here. Lots of football played. A month of October, which was amazing. A month of November that has 3 defeats in 5. Now, of course, last episode we beat Bristol Rovers 6-3 in the league, an emphatic win and a bit of a crushing comeback down to reality, I suppose, as we took on Leyton Orient. A 1-1 draw there, but we did follow it up with a win against Halifax Town. They did have a man sent off late on in this game. Didn't really change anything too much. You will notice as we go through these games, Brandon Charles at the heart of absolutely everything we do, including, as you can see here, wins against Cambridge, Northampton, a draw then against Bromley. You might remember Bromley were promoted from the National League a couple of years ago. They are a very, very good team. Doesn't make it any less annoying that they equalised in the 80th minute. After the disappointment against Bromley, though, a really important win against Tranmere, a game where maybe we rode our luck a little bit. We took our chances that came our way. We did create plenty in this game. Tranmere, a very, very good team. I can't underestimate this enough and understate it enough. They are currently top of the league. We are one of only a few teams that have actually managed to beat them. We also ended the month on a high, a 4-2 win against Mansfield. Brandon Charles picked up a hat-trick because, I mean, of course he picked up a hat-trick. The man's a goal-scoring machine, except when we play Sheffield Wednesday. Look, we lost this one 2-0. Sheffield Wednesday, obviously, a bit of a weird team I feel like to see in League 2. They've actually been in this league for 1 year already. They've been stuck in this tier, of course. A bit of a fall from grace from when, well, they were competing for championship playoff spots in 2016. But yeah, they have struggled in this save game. Of course, play at Hillsborough, which must be the biggest stadium in this division by a country mile. And well, at home against them, we couldn't get a win. And things went from bad to slightly more bad. We drew against Colchester, and then we knocked ourselves out at the FA Cup against Accrington Stanley. I say we knocked ourselves out. I mean, maybe I'm doing Accrington Stanley a disservice, but we didn't take our chances. We created a lot. We played, I don't actually feel like that badly, but yeah, they won 2-0. I rotated the team. I shouldn't have done it. Good news, I think, though. We beat Colchester in the Papa John's Trophy. I don't want to be in this competition, so the fact that we've made it out this group is a little bit annoying. Charlton and Colchester, 2 teams in League 1, we've managed to finish above. And most recently, we took on Shrewsbury Town. Have you ever seen this before in Football Manager? We lost the game 2-1. Brandon Charles got sent off in the last minute, and he still got man of the match. I've never seen it before. He got an 8.0 rating, he got sent off, he came, he scored, he got sent off, and that was the game. That's why he's not available today. So just to look at the League 2 table, it's rather jam-packed. We're currently in third. A win against Dagenham will mean that we stay third. If we lose here, we will potentially drop into the playoffs, or even worse, because whilst it's easy to look at our actual position of third place on 31 points, it would be silly of me not to mention the fact that if Cambridge, who are currently down in 9th, were to win, they would actually have the same amount of points as us. Whilst our goal difference is absolutely amazing, Oh, the points are very, very close. This is a tight league right now. Now, a little bit of team news to make you aware of is with regards to our Conte, who we have sold to Burton Albion. Burton Albion, a good team in League One, a mid-table team. They came in with a bid for Tarek of £100,000. And, I mean, he's not really been doing it in League Two. I have no idea why they think he's worth £100,000, but we've agreed to that. He will be leaving us in January. And Tim Ap Sean, I've been told apparently Sion is Sean in Welsh. I don't know if it said Sean. I didn't get that far in the comments. Either way, Sean, I'm going to call him Sean the Sheep because he's Welsh. I'm very imaginative with the nicknames. If we just compare Sean the Sheep with Tarek, you can kind of see here, I think once Tim is registered, he is going to be just a straight upgrade on our Conte. Of course, Tim we picked up on a free. Our Conte we've sold for 100k. So I kind of view that as good business. Of course, we have been very busy in the transfer market this season, which is why today I want to sit down and talk about the squad, the winners, the losers, the starters, plans for the future, all that good stuff. I mean, when you look at the transfers in over the last couple of seasons, it's safe to say we have signed quite a few new players. There's been a higher turnover in players. With us going professional now, the pool of players that we can sign goes up. And naturally, having spent 3 years in the Vanarama National League, I would quite like to get out of League Two this year, so improving the squad was always going to be necessary. So I think we'll start from the back and move forward, starting, of course, with the goalkeepers, where I really haven't said his name too much. Rob Carlton is just our starting goalkeeper. Of course, he joined us last year from Portsmouth for £10,000. It was a cheap deal. It was a weird deal at the end of the year. So far, he's not doing great in League Two if you look at the stats. I mean, 1 clean sheet in 17. I do feel like he's a victim of the system we play. I'm going to defend him here. He does make the odd save. Of course, Sean McDonald is our backup goalkeeper. One of a few players who over the last 12 months has seen his role in the team really diminish. There's a few players like this outfield that are trying to force moves. Sean, at least for now, is holding patience. I do wonder if that's just because I've given him the number 1 shirt. And of course, James Hammond is one of a number of Guernsey youngsters who left the club once upon a time, who we've now managed to bring back home. Of course, at 34 years old, he's kind of just a backup goalkeeper. I will at some point, I'm sure, give him a game out of sympathy. But yeah, he is just vibing. I was going to say on the bench. He's not even on the bench. Of course, the defence was a position that in the National League I felt like we always struggled with. I kind of felt like we hit a ceiling when it came to the quality of defenders we could sign as a part-time club. With us breaking that ceiling, we have been able to make some pretty big upgrades. Of course, if we look at Jack Charlton, the first player I've loaned in a few seasons, some people did mention Gianluca Rossi and Scott Williams. I did also technically loan. Look, they were already playing for the club. I got them on loans back. They don't count. I mean, so far, Jack Charlton's doing okay. He's not available for today's game. Obviously, not a long-term backup right-back option. Our other only real right-back that I would choose to use is Ryan McGuinness, and he's not a happy camper. I gave him the shirt number 2. I think he felt like he should be starting as a result of that. But truth be told, as we've climbed up through the leagues, this man has done a job in the National League, never really shone in the National League, and suddenly, when I have tried him in League 2, he's not really living up to expectations. So we have those 2 right-back options. At left-back, of course, we have Tony Gallagher, who is in a similar spot to McGuinness. Once upon a time, first-team player, now slightly less so. At 30 years old, he's already told me he intends to leave at the end of his current contract. I have tried to give him matches this season, albeit a few of them have been him coming on off the bench. He's got a 6.5 rating. This is the issue, isn't it, when you climb up the Football League? There's a point where you have to cut the sentimental bits out, especially when players aren't performing, and Tony, he is a victim of that. Our actual left-back is the highest earner at the club. He's not worth this money. I don't want to say it was an error, but I'm looking how he's performing in training. I'm looking how he's performing on the training pitch, and I'm sat thinking, if I could cash in on him, it would be quite good. Callum Williams, he's like Perner, except I don't like him, and at least with Perner I did like him. We do also have Morgan Williams, who's that versatile centre-mid, left-back, right-back option. Probably should be looking to replace him. I feel sad saying that. Look, he's been here since the Vanarama National South days. To be fair, he's not been given a chance in League 2 yet. Maybe he could perform at this level. Had a number of good years for us at the National League kind of tier, but he's just not it, is he? And of course, another centre-back who was it at the National League level and isn't really now is Aidan Wilson. He is another one of our centre-backs who's been replaced, and I have created a bit of a problem for myself because at centre-back, I've got 3 players good enough to start. Which I start kind of comes down to the form and also fitness levels. We have Paul Appiah. Of course, this man was incredible with Boston last year in the National League, got promoted with them. We've brought him into our team and he's played very, very well for us. Originally, I thought he was going to be a backup option, but he's starting to play more and more. On the flip side, a man who I thought was going to be our regular starter and is kind of just he's okay. Joe Rogers, I say that, he's got a 6.84 rating in the league. I signed this man for big money, £1,500. I'm looking at that price tag thinking, maybe I should cash in. Of course, the third centre-back we've got is the most expensive signing in the club's history. Jay McGrath, £120,000 paid for this man. He's got a 7.32 rating. It really is him and Appiah, I feel like, who are becoming the go-to back two. There is a voice in the back of my head that is saying, play free at the back, but I'm ignoring that for now. When it comes to the midfield, of course, a few big upgrades brought in this year. Barry Kelly, formerly of Arsenal, has just signed a new deal without a minimum release clause. I'm quite happy about that because previously we could have lost him for £150,000. The man is developing absolutely amazing, which we love to see. Elsewhere, of course, Connor Panny also joined the club this year. I feel like these two probably are our best centre-mid options. They're kind of complementary to each other, playing as the left centre-mid and right centre-mid. Of course, they do have the roaming playmaker in behind for a little bit of coverage. And at least to start the year, that has been this man, Liam Stewart. Do I feel like this is the long-term roaming playmaker option of my dreams? Not exactly, but I do feel like he's good enough, at least for this level, and with some good mentals, some okay technicals, maybe lacking a bit in the physicals. What I will say about him is he can actually defend, which is more than what can be said for a lot of our midfielders. Of course, we have got other backup centre mids. With the narrow system that we play, we need plenty of these. Lewis Ferguson, one such option, a player who is currently on £250 a week until the end of the year. I'd love to sign him on a full-time contract. He thinks he's worth £1,000 a week. Now, do I think he's worth that? No. And another man whose contract's running out at the end of the year is Trey George. Trey George is an interesting one because he had this red-hot streak when he first joined us last year, and then he's had lots of little issues with injuries. He's never really got an extended run in the first team. I mean, you can see here, so far this season has had 3 separate injuries. And combined with his complete inability to defend and lacking mentals, he's the kind of player who I feel like at Vanarama National League level, with these physicals, can do a job. In the Football League, not as convinced that's possible. Of course, Slimani is another good option in the midfield that we have. At 21 years old, he has a little bit of potential, he has a little bit of room to grow, has a long-term deal as well until 2033, so 3.5 years currently left on his deal. I'd be lying if I was to say I'm not looking at his value thinking, maybe I can get some money for him. And you might have noticed here, surplus to requirements, I might have been offering him out to clubs. The final of the midfield options is Ben Acey. This man can't play any of the positions that we actually play, but he's homegrown at Guernsey. He's back home. I've brought him here, and I'm going to hope at some point he can come good for us. He's learning to play centre mid. He's not played there very much yet, though. And last but not least, the strikers, where there's plenty more familiar faces. Of course, Robbie Eure, we know Robbie Eure, tall Scottish bloke. In real life, Rangers need to give him a contract, apparently. I'm here to give Robbie Eure the seal of approval for Rangers. I mean, does anyone at Rangers recruitment team watch these videos? Probably not. I don't want to say it too loudly. This man might be the player of the series so far. Brandon Charles, 23 years old, not available for today's game. He has 16 goals and 13 assists in 16 league games. At the end of last episode, I said, I don't think these numbers are maintainable. He is currently maintaining these numbers. He has been absolutely mad. You can see here just the goal-scoring record he has. In fact, he's only ever played league games for us. So we can see here, 91 goals, 35 assists, 143 appearances. And in fact, looking at it here, you can see he has made it into the favoured personnel, along with a load of other Park to Prem Hall of Famers, I feel like. It's always the strikers that are the Hall of Famers, I've noticed. Also, Scott Williams has dropped off the favoured personnel. The fans hate him. Of course, Alcante is on his way out the club. Trey George, we've discussed. I think this might be his last year. We have got a few other striking options. Robbie Smith deserves a mention. He has regularly been starting out on the left-hand side. One of only a few left-footed players in the team, and especially left-footed strikers that at least have pace. What I will say is, his recent form hasn't been quite as good as it had been, but I suppose 5 goals in 10 is fine. I should stop comparing everyone to Brandon Charles. Owen Phillips is another one of the Scottish contingent in the club, 23 years old, good in the air, the backup to Yer. Unfortunately for Owen Phillips, when I do play him, he doesn't score. He scored 1 goal in 17 league appearances. That is actually shocking. I spent £31,000 on him. And last but not least, we have Tim Apshawn, the Sheep. 23 years old, of course, started his career at Guernsey. Has not been registered for us yet. Cannot be registered until January. Very keen to see how he does at this level because on the face of it, he looks like an absolutely ridiculous striker for this level. Now, in terms of what I think our best 11 is when we have everyone available, I think it is this team on screen here, which I suppose lines up with everything I've just said, with the exception of Rodgers, who I've gone cold on. I mentioned considering playing 3 at the back. I had been planning a world where I could play 3 at the back. I've even got a 3 at the back best 11 kind of preliminarily saved. How does this look? Would this be a crazy idea? Obviously, Charlton can't really play right wing back, so I feel like, at least for this year, I can't do this yet. But given the trend that I've noticed this year, where there's more better defenders available, I do see a world where we go to maybe a system like this, which, for those of you that remember it, this is what I played at FC United back on FM23, or alternatively, we could go to the Towlaw Town kind of super aggressive, super attacking kind of system like this. Is this too attacking and too aggressive? Maybe with our current squad. Now, today's league game against Dagenham is a rather big one. Like I already mentioned, they are doing very well. They are up in 4th. And just as a little reminder, last time we played them was in that Vanarama National League playoff final. It was over a year ago. We lost 4-2. I want revenge for that day. I hope I get to do the overpowered revenge team talk ahead of this match. This game is away from home, but we have already played Dagenham away from home. So no, Jack does an away day today. I know. I'm disappointed too. So when it comes to team selection for today's game, couple of players missing, which does mean our Conte is going to come in. He has some big boots to fill in Brandon Charles's boots, but in what could be his final ever game on camera, we're going to hope that our Conte can do some magic for us. Elsewhere, Charlton is out, which means McGuinness, who's been crying about a lack of first team football, comes in. I hope he does better than he's done in his recent games. Elsewhere, we are going with McGrath and Appiah at the back. Carlton, of course, in goal, a very good player. The midfield of Kelly, Panny, Stewart. I think this is our best 11. Like I said, Kelly's been developing really well. He's also been in some really, really good form. Allegedly has championship potential. I really want to believe that's the case. I feel like this is a man that can grow with this squad. I do appreciate there's some people who love to just see matches of Football Manager. So for you guys, maybe the opening of today's episode hasn't been all that. But I do feel like when you're doing a save game like this, especially on YouTube, you want people to feel connections with players. I want you to know the squad, kind of have a vibe for how I'm feeling about certain players, the players I hate, looking at you, Callum Williams, and just kind of, have a good idea of what's going on, especially because over the last few seasons, we hadn't changed so much, and also we had been getting through the seasons quicker and quicker. Now that we're at a point where we are being challenged on the regular, and we are, at least right now, in the playoff fight, I kind of want you to feel as invested in my squad as I currently am. I want to see this team do well. Let's do it against Dagenham, shall we? Okay, this is not what I want to see immediately. They've got a corner. It's whipped in. We've headed it, I think, just about away, although Hutton still has the ball. He's going to put it back post to Ince, who heads narrowly over. So far, Dagenham have started the game the better of the two sides, which isn't exactly what I want to see or be saying after less than 5 minutes. And even worse, they might be on the attack here. Of course, they are in 4th. They are a good team. I do feel like, in a bizarre way, we're kind of overperforming at the moment, which might sound odd because we've got this mental goal difference, but to be honest, it all just comes through Brandon Charles. When he's not on the pitch, I do feel like we lack a little bit of a spark, a little bit of vavavum in the team. Maybe our Conte can provide the vavavum today. Panny to Smith. That is an incredible ball by Panny through. And Robbie Smith, I mean, he's got his 11th goal of the season. I was criticising him for getting a goal every other game. He has taken that personally. And I mean, as for Panny, that was a ridiculous ball through. I did think for a moment he might be offside here. I mean, Panny, what is that pass? How did he see that? He's not Doctor Strange. He's got vision into a million universes. Okay, we're a goal up. Let's remain calm. I do not love seeing McGuinness on a booking at right back after 27 minutes. He needs to be well behaved. I've just got this feeling. He's got a bit of penner in him. Hutton with the ball, bringing it through the middle. Fred's through Burns. He's going to lay it to Jones. Lovely build-up play. Really good save by Carlton. It was offside. He didn't know that. Give him some credit. And well, from the resulting free kick, we are actually going to potentially have another highlight. 10 minutes left of the half. As the away team, a win here would be massive. This is not a game which I don't want to say I hope we're going to win it. I don't think we expect ourselves to win this one, although I was going to say, if Panny's going to play as well as he has been, maybe we have a chance, but that finish there was poor. Plenty of highlights in this half so far, but still only 1-0. Maybe we can make something happen here. McGrath to Appiah. I feel like they are just the best two centre-backs in our team. They link up really nicely as well, I've noticed. Robbie Yer played through, and oh my word, that is a cheeky finish. Near post, keeper stood. I was going to say no chance. The keeper probably shouldn't be beaten there, should he? But, I mean, it was a bit simple. It's not a sexy goal, is it? By any means. Stewart, just big ball through. Scottish to Scottish action from midfield to attack. And the finish at the end of it is good. Let's not play that down. That was tidy. Half-time here, 2-0 up. I'll be honest, when you look at the stats, I kind of feel like we've got a little bit lucky so far. Maybe we've ridden our fortune, but at the same time, we've taken the chances that have come our way. We've put ourselves in a very good position. Going to tell the players I'm happy, but I think they're capable of even better. McGuinness looks aggressive. Aggressive body language, and he's on a yellow card. He is not staying on. Joe Rogers, today, mate, you are going to learn to play wing-back. He's left-footed, but he can play right-back, so it's going to be fine, I think. Okay, highlight right away. Dagenham also making changes at half-time. Going to hope that Rogers on that far side can actually do a job as a right-back. I don't think he's played there for us yet, so it's a bit of trial by fire. But I do feel like he's probably the best option we have to play there. That's not really saying a great deal. And while they could have a chance here immediately, it's put towards Rogers, who has headed it away. But Dagenham immediately starting this half on the front foot. Jones pulls it back to Burns, and Carlton has somehow turned that round the post. I mean, like I said when we were reviewing the goalkeepers, Carlton has one clean sheet so far in this game. I'd love us to keep a clean sheet here, but based on what I've seen, probably shouldn't expect it, especially with Dagenham on the front foot yet again. Although on this occasion, Rogers wins it, gives it to Yer. Conte is running. Options in the middle. Can he make a good ball into the box? Smith is there, and it's a great save by the keeper. It might not even be away from danger. Stewart, though, tackled by Rowe. Ince now bringing it up this near side for Dagenham. Inside to Mensah. Gear. Not loving what I'm seeing here, but I mean, that I didn't mean to rhyme there, I swear. Jones squares it. Burns, get it away. I'm not enjoying this. Dagenham are on the front foot in this game. Ince into the box. Burns heads it in. And it's his 10th goal of the season. I'll be honest, they probably deserve that. I'm going to have to get shouty, aren't I here? Hutton plays it down the line. Ince on his left foot puts it in. And that's a very, very simple goal. Why did I even mention a clean sheet? Why did I even utter those words? Right, you know what? Getting shouty. Demanding more. Kelly on a booking concerns me. Conte's been poor again. Where is Brandon Charles when I need him? I'll tell you where he is. He's sat in the stands. He's bloody suspended. For a game this important, to get a second yellow card in the last game in the 90th minute was just annoying. But not as annoying as whatever the dickens was that is I've just seen there. Oh my word, what are we doing? Right, Rogers, you have not impressed me at wing-back, so I'm just going to play you at wing-back on defend. Elsewhere, I'm going to move Williams back too. Kelly is going to come off for Slimani. I'm going to bring in Trey George, I think, for our Conte 2. And Williams is going to come off for Gallagher. Gallagher, when I've brought him on, has not impressed, but Williams is not playing well at left back. And I think Williams has an appearance fee of £800 a week. Or per game, not per week. That'd be weird with an appearance fee. I think I've just paid that man £800 for that performance. He was rubbish again. Okay, 20 minutes left in this game. Can we hold on? Rogers wins a great header. Robbie now with it. Looking to go down the line to Smith. Already scored one goal in this game. He crosses it into absolutely no one, but the good news for us is they've cleared it to absolutely no one. So we are back with the ball. Appiah to Smith, who I thought for a moment had to be offside. The flag hasn't been raised, and now Dagenham looking to bring it out. They go long. It hits Appiah on the back. You could say you didn't expect the ball to appear there. No. Okay, stop. Why am I doing this? I deserve to concede. I deserve that. It's 2-2. It's 2-2. I'm not loving what I've seen. I've got one sub left. You know what? Ben AC on your come, mate. I know Panny's had a good game today, but I feel like this is an AC kind of game. Like I said, he can't play centre mid. He doesn't know how to play centre attacking mid, so we're just going to stick him there and make this ugly shape our formation. I'm sure it'll be fine. George with the ball, fresh off the bench, switching it over to Smith on this near side. He's going to cross it into Robbie Yer. And that shot looked like it was destined to nestle in that bottom corner, but for a very, very good stop. We have, though, got a free kick. It's AC over it. Can he get it in? He can. And that header's not far over. 5 minutes left in this game. Both teams really on the front foot trying to make something happen. I mean, look at their formation. It's almost as mad as ours. 4 minutes of added time. Is there a late twist here? Or are we going to have to share the spoils? The answer is we're going to have to share them. And I do not like to share. But on the balance of play, probably fortunate to get anything from this game. On the flip side, we were 2 goals up. So to blow a 2-goal lead is annoying. Good news, I think, is at least for now, we are still in third. There's lots of teams behind us with games in hand, though. Now, I did mention last episode, I did want to have a quick look at England and just how the Football League is looking as a whole. Of course, we are fairly far into the future at this point. I'll be honest, when you look at the Premier League, I don't feel like there's too many particularly odd teams there. I suppose Blackburn and Middlesbrough, if you were going to be super critical. Chelsea currently winning the league. In terms of past winners, it has been dominated by Liverpool for the last few years, all thanks to really one man. They have Endrick, everyone. Have you seen this guy in Football Manager? In real life, he's signed now, so you won't have to worry about him anymore, at least if you're playing in England. But he's quite good in this save game. As for the Championship, maybe a slightly odd one here is seeing Wrexham in 23rd. They may well go down this year. You can see they've obviously had their big takeover in real life, and off the back of that, they've had 2 promotions in the last couple of years, all the way to the Championship now, which is the highest that they've been. I think they're the weirdest team there. I mean, you can see the rest of the teams here. Salford have also climbed up the league, so a few of the bankrolled lower English teams doing rather well. As for League One, Portsmouth are still in League One, so all is fine with the universe, as are Derby County, who at least right now are down in 20th. As for the rest of England, you've already seen a lot of it just because, well, we've been in those divisions for the last few years. In Scotland, Rangers are absolutely dominating things for people wondering. Celtic are struggling, and Rangers' main man, if we just have a look, is Thales Magno. I have no idea how they've managed to sign this bloke. I mean, they got a bargain from New York City FC. He's done quite well in recent years. 10 man of the matches in 34 games last season. For the Welsh viewers out there, TNS have won the Welsh Premier League every year. Coloured me shocked. And over in Northern Ireland, which I do have loaded, Linfield are currently top of the league, although Glentoran have won it the last few years, and Larne managed to win the league in 26-27. When it comes to past winners in the Champions League, it is dominated by Manchester City and Liverpool, although Real Madrid and Chelsea have won it in recent years. For people wondering, I have got leagues outside of the UK loaded. I have got the top flights of France, Germany, Italy and Spain loaded, which makes the fact that it's English dominated the Champions League a little bit surprising to me. You can see the past Europa League winners as of late. It is Milan and Chelsea who have won it. Before that, Napoli, Man City, Arsenal winning it. This year's final is going to be played at the Frank Lampard Stadium. Now, you might have noticed here, no one is playing at the Frank Lampard Stadium. Football Manager does this weird thing where, I don't know if it's an England-specific issue, but within England, if England ever hosts a major international competition, they build a load of stadiums named after the national team legends, just inexplicably. I don't really get it. Overall today, am I happy with the result against Dagenham? I think when you consider we were without Brandon Charles, we kind of just have to be happy with it. Brandon Charles is just dominating everything statistically, not just within our own team, but just across the league as a whole. Top goal scorer, most assists, highest average rating, 6th player of the matches. He is quite important to the way that we play. Hopefully you guys did enjoy today's episode. If you did, do drop a like on it. We're back tomorrow. We will have a double header. I hope you're excited for it. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. A little bit of a change of pace. Until next time, take it easy. It is me, Jack, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.